Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Welcome English, the podcast for people who are learning English and want to feel more confident every single day.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jill.
And I'm Jack, and together we make learning English fun.
We try. We really try.
So, Jill, tell our listeners, what are we talking about today?
Today, we are talking about emails, how to write better emails in English.
Ooh, yes, this is a big one, a very, very important one.
It really is. And before we start, hello to all our listeners. Whether you are a student, an immigrant, someone who just moved to a new country, this episode is for you.
Yes, welcome. Take your time, listen slowly, and if you need to, press pause, rewind, and listen again. That is totally okay.
Totally okay. Okay, Jack, let's go.
So first, why do we even need to write emails in English? Why does it matter?
Great question. So think about this. You start a new job, your boss sends you an email. You need to reply. What do you say? How do you start? How do you finish?
And it can feel very scary if you don't know the right words.
Exactly. Or maybe you are a student. You need to email your teacher. You want to ask a question about your homework.
Or maybe you just moved to a new city and you need to email your landlord, that's the person who owns your apartment, about a problem in your home.
All of these situations, they need emails. And in English, there's a certain style, a certain way of writing. And when you know that style, you feel so much more confident.
You feel like a professional.
Exactly. So today, we are going to teach you that style, step by step.
Nice and slow.
Nice and slow. Let's do it.
Okay, before we teach phrases, let's talk about the parts of an email, because every email has a structure, a shape.
Think of it like a sandwich.
Sandwich.
Yes, bread on the top, filling in the middle, bread on the bottom.
I love this already.
So, the top of the email, that's your greeting, how you say hello. The middle of the email, that's your message, what you want to say. And the bottom of the email, that's your sign-off, how you say goodbye.
Bread, filling, bread.
Perfect. Easy, right?
Very easy. And now let's look at some real phrases you can use. Useful phrases. Phrases that native English speakers use every day.
Okay, listeners, get your notebooks or your phones because you will want to write these down.
We have 6 phrases today. 6 great phrases. And we will say each one slowly and give you an example.
Ready? Let's go.
Phrase number 1. I am writing to. This is how you tell someone why you are writing. Right at the beginning.
So, for example, I am writing to ask about my appointment, or I am writing to say thank you for your help.
Simple, clear, professional. You tell the person immediately, here is why I am writing.
And it's very polite, too.
Very polite. Say it with me. Ready? I am writing to.
Beautiful. Okay, phrase number 2.
Phrase number 2. Could you please? This is how you make a polite request when you want someone to do something.
For example, could you please send me the document? Or could you please tell me what time the meeting is?
Now, why do we say, could you please, and not just, send me the document?
Because without please, it sounds like a command, like you're the boss. And in English, especially in emails, we want to sound polite and kind.
Exactly. Could you please? It's a small phrase, but it makes a big difference.
Big difference. Okay, phrase number 3.
Phrase number 3. I am sorry for the delay. Oh, this one is so important.
So important because sometimes we don't reply to an email quickly. Maybe we were busy, maybe we forgot, and when we finally reply, we need to say sorry.
So we say, I am sorry for the delay in my reply, or I am sorry I did not respond sooner.
And then you continue with your message. Simple, honest, polite.
And people really appreciate it. They think, oh, this person is professional. They care.
Exactly. Okay, number 4.
Phrase number 4. Please find attached. Oh yes, this is a very useful one.
When you send a file, a document, a photo, a PDF with your email, you need to tell the person. And in English, we say, please find attached.
For example, please find attached my CV. A CV is your resume, the document about your work experience. Or please find attached the photos from the event.
And a very common mistake, people send the email and forget to attach the file.
Oh no, and then they have to send another email saying, "Sorry, I forgot the attachment."
It happens to everyone, even native speakers.
Even native speakers. So, write first, attach, then send.
Golden rule. Okay, phrase number 5.
Phrase number 5. I look forward to hearing from you. This is how you end the main part of your email before you say goodbye.
It means I am waiting for your reply. I'm excited to hear back from you.
For example, I look forward to hearing from you soon, or I look forward to your response.
It sounds very professional and it signals to the reader, please reply to me.
It's a very polite way to ask for a response without directly saying, "Please reply."
And people use this in almost every professional email, so learn this one.
Learn this one. Okay, last one. Phrase number 6.
Phrase number 6, sign-offs, how to end your email. So at the very end of the email, after everything you said, you write a sign-off, a goodbye.
And in English, there are different levels of formality. Formal means very professional, serious. Informal means relaxed, friendly.
And for formal emails, emails to your boss, your teacher, a company, you write best regards or kind regards or yours sincerely.
For less formal emails, emails to a colleague, a classmate, someone you know well, you can write best wishes or many thanks or even just thanks.
And then after the sign-off, you write your name.
Your name. Simple.
So the sign-off looks like this. Kind regards, new line, Maria.
Beautiful. That's it. That's how you end an email.
Okay, Jack, now let's talk about mistakes because everyone makes mistakes when they are learning.
And that is okay. Mistakes are how we learn. But if we know the common mistakes ahead of time, we can avoid them.
Smart.
Very smart. So, common mistake number 1.
Mistake 1, using dear sir or madam when you know the person's name. So, dear sir or madam, this is very old, very formal. You use it only when you do not know who you are writing to.
But if you know the name, use it. Dear Ms. Johnson, or Dear Mr. Lee, or just Dear Anna.
Using someone's name is more personal, more friendly. People like it.
Okay, mistake number 2. Mistake 2, writing emails that are too long. Oh yes, sometimes learners and even native speakers write very, very long emails. Too much information, too many sentences.
In English email culture, especially professional email, shorter is better. Say what you need to say, be clear, be direct, and finish.
People are busy. They read quickly. If your email is short and clear, they will love you.
They will love you. Okay, mistake number 3.
Mistake 3, forgetting the subject line. The subject line is the title of your email, the short sentence at the top that says, "What is this email about?"
For example, question about my appointment, or application for the job, or homework help needed.
Never leave the subject line empty. It is the first thing people see, and without it, your email might look like spam.
And then no one opens it.
Exactly. Always write a subject line. Always.
Okay, now the moment you've been waiting for, let's put it all together. We're going to read a full example email.
Yes, and we will read it slowly so you can follow along.
Okay, imagine this situation. You are a student. Your name is Maria. You need to email your English teacher, Mr. Brown, because you were sick and missed the class. You want to know what you missed.
Okay, here's Maria's email. Listen carefully and slowly. Subject: Missed class, question about homework. Dear Mr. Brown, I am writing to say that I was not able to attend class on Monday because I was not feeling well. I am sorry for missing the lesson. Could you please tell me what we studied in class? I want to make sure I do not fall behind. Please find attached my homework from last week. I finished it at home. I look forward to hearing from you, and I hope to be back in class on Wednesday. Kind regards, Maria Santos. And that's it. Short, clear, polite, professional.
Let's look at what Maria did. She started with, I am writing to. She said why she is writing.
She used could you please. She made a polite request.
She used please find attached. She told him about the file.
She used I look forward to hearing from you. She asked for a reply politely.
And she finished with kind regards, a professional sign-off.
Every single phrase we taught today, Maria used in one small email.
And Mr. Brown, he will be very impressed.
Very impressed.
Okay, listeners, now it is your turn. We have a practice challenge for you.
Yes, this is the part where you write an email. Don't worry, we will help you.
Here is the situation. Listen carefully.
You are new at your job. Your manager sent you an email asking for a report. You finished the report. Now you need to reply and send the report as an attachment.
Your challenge is write that email. Use the phrases from today.
Remember to include a subject line, a greeting, why you are writing, the phrase please find attached, a polite sign-off, and your name.
Write it in your notebook, write it on your phone, or type it on your computer. It doesn't matter. Just write it.
And if you want to share it with us, send it to our email or leave it in the comments. We love reading your practice.
We really do. Every single one.
You can also say it out loud to yourself. Read it like you're reading it to your manager. This helps your speaking too.
Excellent point, Jack.
Okay, let's do a quick review before we go. What did we learn today?
We learned why email writing is important for work, for school, for life in a new country.
We learned the 3 parts of an email: greeting, message, sign-off, the sandwich.
The sandwich. We learned 6 useful phrases. I am writing to. Could you please? I am sorry for the delay. Please find attached. I look forward to hearing from you. And sign-offs like kind regards.
We talked about 3 common mistakes: using dear sir or madame when you know the name, writing too long, and forgetting the subject line.
We read a full example email, thank you, Maria.
And we gave you a practice challenge. Don't skip it. Practice is everything.
Everything.
Learning a language is like learning to ride a bike. You have to actually ride it.
Love that. Okay, thank you so much for listening to Welcome English. We are so glad you're here.
If this episode helped you, please share it with a friend or a classmate or someone who's also learning English.
And subscribe so you don't miss our next episode.
Until next time, keep learning, keep practicing, and remember, your English is getting better every day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.